Shalom, shalom. Barakatah Yahuwah. I serve Yahuwah Elohim of Yasriel. Yes. So today we are going to make some observations. And I've set up a simple flat disc here it's not for flat earth. Don't think it is because it's not. But it is my flat armillary that I'm setting up. And you'll see I got my gnome for a shadow cast. Today is September the 22nd, 2022. It's the Equinox. Last Monday was the first day of the 7th month. So following the equinoxes and solstices, they are not exactly 91 days apart. A lot of people get this wrong, so they look for the equinox to set the first day of either the first month or the 7th month, and that is totally wrong. So our sun and earth does not do a perfect circle in a solar year. So from equinox to solstice to the next equinox, there's a lesser and a greater amount of days between the two different seasons. And I'll be explaining a little bit more of that in a posting on Facebook. But you see that I've made my first mark a while ago, right here. I made it at 10:04 a.m. And you can see that the shadow cast on this gnome, this little bitty screw, I think it might be 1.5 inches or 1 3/4 screw that I'm using, that it is moved off of this shadow point. Now, if you have a table in your backyard or front yard, or you got a deck or anything, you can build one of these with just pennies. Just get you a screw, fasten it down. You can even take a nail and hammer a nail down in there and then just use the top of the nail head. But here with the screw, we get a very fine, sharp point on it. So what I do is I make observations about every hour or 2 hours. As you can see, these are my straight line marks from the last equinox of the spring. And each dot, you take a ruler or something with a perfect straight edge, and you'll see all these dots connect to make a perfect straight edge. My other armillary is a dish armillary. I will not be using that for this equinox this year. I just want to teach people how to make a simple armillary, because everybody says that they don't have the money to spend for the other expensive armillaries, or some people want. There is some blueprints to make one if you're able to make your own. And if you message me on my YouTube, I will send you a link to that, which is the Remnant of Light. They are 1 day difference in their calendar. They do the first day of the year, starting the day of equinox, where this set up Preistly calendar is the Tzdq, is the equinox, and we start the day after. So we're working out of a 365-day solar cycle within a 364 Tzdq Preistly calendar. And people don't realize and understand what all that means, but we can explain a lot of that if anybody has questions through my YouTube channel. And I usually give out my email for email things. If you ask for my email address, I'll send you my email. So what I'm going to do is we're going to see that this is moving. And as the sun over here in the east, now it's later in the day, is moving across the sky this way, our shadow on this gnome will start moving that direction across the board, making the marks for each hour, every 30 minutes, every 2 hours, or you could do it every 3 hours. However, but the purpose of this is to make a dot across the board from the morning sun hours up until the later in the day sun hours to get this straight line effect. Now, tomorrow I'll be making some other observations, and I'll be taking this with me and putting it in another place, further away from where it's setting today. Unlike my dish armillary, it has to be set on North Polaris, and it cannot be moved, it cannot be budged. This here one, it can move around, as long as it does not move through the day that I set it. That's the only difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a new mark to show you my second mark of what I'm doing. And I'll put another mark right there. Now, as you can tell, it looks like this board in this line is going to be going that direction right across here. So then I'm going to write across here a little mark and find out what time it is. What time is it, Patrick? Oh, you didn't bring your phone with you. Okay, but that's okay because I'm gonna take some pictures of it. Oh, I got it. It's 10:14 a.m. Now I'm on the East Coast, so Eastern time of the United States. So people that are wondering when I post this, and it's going to be before your 10:14 a.m. after I post this, probably if you're on the West Coast. This is why, so that we understand time zones and things. So we've got our first two marks, and this is going to be moving across this direction right here. And later this evening, this dot is going to be out here, just like this one is here at the end of the day. Or this one, I actually have turned my board around backwards. So this one was reading at this dot right here at 10. I did it at 10:35 a.m. I started it, and at 5:53 in the afternoon, I ended it right there at the end of the board. And I laid a straight line edge across here, and we got a straight line. So this is how you find the equinox. Now, solstice, it would not show a straight line or any other day of the year. So, but Barakatah Yahuwah, that we are looking and finding the equinox in the fall. And we just did Yom Teruah on that last Monday, the first day of the 7th month. And we're fixing to start getting ready for the 10th day and then the 14th to start the feast of Sukkot for 7 days. So we're excited and keeping the understanding how to find the year, the months, the days, the weeks, and Shabbat. It just so happens that today is the Shabbat, that the equinox of this fall equinox falls on the 4th day of the 7th month. Now, the beginning of the year, the spring equinox is the sign to look for that states and starts the year and all. And starting the next day would be the 4th day of the week, which would be the first day of the month. And then you count 5, 6, 7. Then we'll find out that the Shabbat is on the 4th day of the month. But we'll still be within the 7th day of a week. And people get confused about this. And I've seen people do calendars that try to do the first day of the equinox as the first day of the week and the first day of the month. And then they'll count 7 days. And I've seen people use the equinox as the 4th day of the week. But they'll start their New Year calendar 4 days prior, and it keeps their Shabbat on the same Shabbat, but their New Year day starts earlier. There's lots of different calendars out there that people are proclaiming to be the Tzdq priestly calendar. We need to be aware of these different differences. There are a lot of people trying to find the real Tzdq Qumran calendar, and until you start learning how to use armillaries, this will make things more clear when you start reading the scripts and you start reading the testimonies of the Tzdq priests and how they were doing things, and it will help you to understand. People that don't have armillaries usually err. And when it comes to the armillaries, they have a lot of questions, and it doesn't make sense until they start using them. But shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom, and happy equinox today. Shalom.